Imagine a single message, silently decoded in a small windowless room. A message so urgent, so completely unexpected that it stopped the entire world from collapsing into nuclear war. There were no explosions, no gunshots, just one man, one intercepted signal, and one decision that changed the fate of millions of people forever. This is the real, untold story of the spy who prevented World War III, not with violence, but with courage, with doubt, and with a moment of impossible clarity. The year is 1962. The Cold War has frozen the world into an unbearable, nail-biting tension. The United States and the Soviet Union are standing seconds away from a full-scale nuclear exchange. Every single night, families across the globe go to sleep wondering if tomorrow will even exist. And hidden beneath this crippling global fear are the unseen soldiers, the codebreakers, the intelligence analysts, the spies who work quietly in rooms just like this one. One of them was Oleg Penkovsky, a colonel in Soviet military intelligence and the most valuable double agent the West had ever seen. His contribution wouldn't just provide information, it would save the world from a nuclear firestorm. Penkovsky wasn't born a hero. He grew up in Stavropolye, in the Soviet Union, a place where questioning authority could cost you your life. But from a very young age, he felt something that most people around him tried desperately to bury, a conscience that was sharper than his fear. He climbed his way through the ranks of the Red Army, and along the way he witnessed unimaginable corruption, brutality, and a kind of blind obedience that chills you to the bone. But the real turning point came when he saw innocent, decorated officers executed simply for what was called suspected disloyalty. In that moment, he realized the world he had sworn to serve was spiraling toward a global catastrophe, and he knew he couldn't just stand aside and watch it happen. So, in 1960, he took the most dangerous step a Soviet officer could possibly take. He reached out to the West. He didn't do it for money. He didn't do it for fame. He did it because he feared that his own government was about to ignite a war that no one on Earth could survive. At first, the CIA and MI6 didn't believe him. It seemed too good to be true, a high-ranking Soviet colonel just offering up secrets, but Penkovsky insisted. He began delivering classified documents, photographs of military hardware, and operational details that only someone at the very core of Soviet intelligence could ever know. Soon, he became the West's most valuable human asset inside the entire USSR. He risked absolutely everything. Every single meeting had to be arranged with coded messages. Every roll of microfilm had to be hidden perfectly. Every handshake had to be rehearsed. If he were caught, he wouldn't be imprisoned, he would be swiftly and publicly executed. And yet, he continued. He kept going because he saw what others didn't. The Soviet leadership was actively preparing for a confrontation so deadly that it could literally erase the planet from existence. Then came October, 1962. The world stopped breathing. American spy planes discovered nuclear missiles in Cuba. They were pointed directly at the United States. President Kennedy demanded answers. Were the missiles operational? How long until they could be launched? How aggressive was the Soviet Premier Khrushchev really willing to be? Nobody knew. The world was flying blind, right on the edge of apocalypse. Except one man, Penkovsky, from deep within Moscow. He secretly sent microfilms and coded messages that confirmed the one truth that mattered. The Soviet missiles in Cuba were not ready to fire. They needed more time, weeks in fact, before they could become fully operational. This single critical fact stopped President Kennedy from launching a preemptive strike that would have almost certainly triggered World War III without Penkovsky's information. The U.S. military leadership believed the missiles might be ready that very same day and were urging an immediate attack. His intelligence gave Kennedy the confidence to hold the line. It gave the world time to negotiate, time to breathe, time to survive. But in the shadows of this incredible victory, tragedy was coming. The KGB, the Soviet secret police, started noticing irregularities. A man who photographed documents just a little too perfectly. A clandestine meeting that happened slightly off schedule. A radio signal that lasted 1 second too long. They watched, they followed, they waited. Then one night, they took him. There was no trial. There was no mercy. There was only the cold, hard certainty of what the Soviet Union did to traitors. His final fate is still shrouded in official secrecy. Some declassified reports say he was executed. Others suggest he was tortured first. None of them say he survived. Penkovsky died alone. But because of him, millions of people lived. History rarely celebrates the quiet ones, the ones who save the world not with armies and grand speeches, but with whispered warnings from the dark. Oleg Penkovsky didn't fire a weapon. He didn't command a battalion. He didn't stand on a battlefield. He stood alone behind the Iron Curtain, armed with nothing but courage and a belief that truth mattered more than blind obedience. The Cuban Missile Crisis ended without nuclear war. Humanity stepped back from the brink of annihilation, and a man history nearly erased became the spy who prevented World War III. If you found this story as incredible as we did, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We have many more stories of unsung heroes to share with you. Thanks for watching.